Welcome to another episode of the Untitled Podcast. I am Ivan, IVAN, here joined by Casper.
Let's get it.
And famous and urban dictionary himself, Iris.
Hey.
We did an episode a few days ago, and we're doing it again. We're back in
again.
it.
That's it. Again.
Weekly
on that
things
grind.
these times now.
We're on that grind, boys.
Yeah.
All right, but I want to start off this podcast. I got a topic I wanted to ask you, boys. I don't know how you're gonna take it, and I've waited for the podcast to ask you, so they don't know anything about this.
You hyped it up a bit as well.
I know, because it's an interesting topic, and I want to get your take on it, because everyone's got a different view on it. So I want to get your take on it. But what's your opinion, boys, on semen retention, on sperm retention?
I'm sorry, what?
Sperm retention.
Pardon me?
So sperm retention, for the people that don't know at home, it's basically where you don't pleasure yourself and you don't bust a nut. So there's two things. You got celibacy, obviously that's when you don't do anything, and then you got sperm retention. That's where you can still if you pull a girl, you could still, but you try and keep your seed for as long as you can. Obviously, but you're not pulling every week. You're trying to keep your seed for as long as you can.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's got lots of benefits and stuff like that.
Does
A lot of celebrities and
Wait, really?
Yeah.
What are these benefits that you speak of?
I'll go through them, but a lot of celebrities and influencers are doing it now. So
Joyce and Logan Paul.
I think he does. Yeah, I think he does.
I bet he does.
Logan Paul, Young Don the Sauce, a lot, and even others,
really?
yeah, and even big celebrities as well do it. So one of the benefits is that it's supposed to make you sort of stronger. So helps you out in the gym and helps you out with if you're an athlete, if you're a basketball player, it's going to help you out with your performance and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It also helps out with
Yeah, because boxers before a fight won't have
of course. It also helps out with depression and keeping you calm. You're less angry and stuff. It helps you being clear of mind and stuff. And it's also said to be what's it called help you be more attractive to the opposite sex.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, I'm just reading by what I've read up on.
How does that
I'm
make
just
you more
reading up.
attractive?
So apparently after the first couple of weeks or so, you stop becoming very you know how everyone's got those needs, and sometimes you get really, after a couple of weeks or so, you stop getting that and you stop becoming so sex minded and just thinking about sex constantly. So then that changes your demeanor, and then when you talk to girls, you don't, and girls pick up on that sort of thing. This is what I've read up on. I don't know 100% if this is true or not, but this is what I've read up on.
I can see that.
So you're more attractive to the opposite sex. It's also huge for spiritually as well. If you want to be able to connect to your higher self and all that sort of thing and open your third mind, you need to keep your seed, because the main thing is that your seed has it basically creates life. Do you know what I mean? So that sort of energy, the theory behind it is keeping that energy within you helps you, in a number of ways.
I see.
So that's the thing. I mean, like I said, that's just what I've read up on. I still haven't, made up my mind on what I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, what do you guys think?
You got me with that thing about after a while you stop thinking about sex.
Yeah, of course.
That's the part that actually interests me.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
This Ivan's hung up on that one part. He's
the one part.
Well,
I mean, that part sort of makes that sort of makes sense. I mean, do you know what I mean? If you're not so,
because I felt
sex-minded,
everyone, when you're older, you get to that part, but.
Yeah,
I feel if you want to do it now, there's a life hack to do it, I guess.
And I low key feel that's more attractive to the opposite sex as well. If you're not so set, thinking about sex all the time, do you know what I mean? Then I feel when you talk to, you probably won't pick up on it subconsciously, but you probably, when you communicate with girls, you sort of, more suave.
Are a lot of people doing this in relationships, or is it more just that solo bachelor sort of thing?
There are a lot of spiritual guys are doing it. In relationships, so obviously they can't please a lot of the spiritual guys in relationships are doing celibacy, so they're not actually getting it on with their girls, but they're still pleasing their girls in other ways, but they're not busting a nut, because
what are they giving their head?
Well, stuff, whatever method they want to do, but they're pleasing their girls.
Just do what you got to do.
Because
just do what you got to do.
It is a huge spiritually thing. If you want to, awaken your third eye, and you want to connect to your higher self, and with meditation, it does suppose, help you out with that sort of
what
thing.
is a third eye, bro?
Third eye. I mean, we can definitely get into that.
I reckon we could do a whole episode on the third eye.
100%. No, we'll definitely do a whole podcast on the third eye.
There's a guest that I'm thinking of that we need for that one.
Oh, 100%. When we get that certain guest, I feel like we'll go into all that because it's a huge topic, the third eye and all that. But yeah, it's very like spiritually in that. And I mean, like think about it, like pleasing yourself, it's like, it's sort of a dirty thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like if you think about it, you're literally doing it with your hand. Like it's not a very cool thing. Do you know what I mean? So
I don't know. I don't see that.
I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad. I can see where like, because obviously I've done a lot of reading into this.
Do you mean dirty as in wrong or dirty as in like literally filthy?
No, it's not like literally filthy, but I mean it's just
like I mean
it's
like
not,
in,
it's not a really cool
like in the
thing to
filth
be.
sense or in like just the mindset sense.
That's just because of like society. If you go out into the wild, every animal's doing it, and they don't think it's wrong.
Well, I mean, every animal's actually doing it, not actually just doing it.
Yeah, no, they're doing both. Just like
I've seen apes doing that. Man. Don't just lie to me.
One day you'll do that. One day you have sex. Another day you do that. It's not you're just doing one or the other.
Yeah, I don't know. But I like reading it all. It does make sense because I mean, think about it. This literally creates life. Like this. You know what I mean? Your nut creates
life.
life.
Spirituality part of it.
Yeah. I can see all that sort of part. Do you know what I mean? Like I can see that and. Yeah, apparently you're meant to like be less stressed and less tired and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, I mean,
for me, like, I don't think I'd ever do that.
Yeah,
but I'd understand why others would do that. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. I don't think if I was in a relationship like you, like I wouldn't go celibacy and then like not please, you know. But like I'm single at the moment. Like I don't sort of, do you know what I mean? And we're in lockdown.
I feel like this would have been good to do before lockdown started.
No, 100%. That's what I'm saying. I'm not.
Ivan's like shit.
Yeah,
right now.
I should have known about this before, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not for the celibacy thing. Like as of right now. Like right now, I'm against like no celibacy. Like if you know what I mean. But like. I don't know, man. I mean, like, not doing it with yourself. I can definitely get behind that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I definitely want to see, like, if this is true, if I see any change. Also, it helps you out with growing a beard and stuff, because like your hormones and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, like I said, bro, your seed creates life. That's why when you think about it, it's not too far fetched. Most of those things, you know, especially the spiritual thing. I can definitely see that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where I'm on it.
Yeah. What about you, Ivan? Would you ever do it? Like, let's just say.
Yeah, I wish I could have done it before lockdown started. I actually would have done it.
You know what? I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna say on the podcast. No to the celibacy thing.
No way.
So if I pull,
I'm not doing it now.
Nah, I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now. No, if I pull, like, no to the celibacy thing, like I'm still, you know what I mean? But like I'm just not gonna do it with myself. I'm not gonna please myself. But do you know what I mean? I'm still gonna. Obviously, with the other sex, the other gender, 100%, I'll still do that.
What about with Ivan?
No. That's why I said the other sex. Ivan is the same gender as me. I'm still good. You know what I mean? But like, I'll just do a little trial. Let's see if I can get through 3 weeks, or we'll start off week by week and let's just see.
Day by day, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna take that day by day. It's a slow game.
Let's see. We'll do that play by play.
It's a slow game because I mean, like I said, it's not very cool, like suave sort of thing to be doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like. I don't know. It's worth the try.
Because I reckon
I don't understand what that means.
In a relationship, it'd be different though. Because like, especially if you go out meeting someone, you're not going to be talking about your personal, your intimate habits when you're alone in your room. Of course. But if as the closer you get with someone, then the conversation opens up a bit more, and then you feel more open talking.
Well, I mean, does anyone know? Because I mean, like you always see it like on like YouTube and Google and stuff. Does anyone know why they say like, oh, like people that watch porn like constantly, you know what I mean? Like it's not good for their like dating life. Does anyone know why that's the thing? Like, because I don't know. I'm genuinely asking.
To be fair, I don't watch enough YouTube to see ads like that.
Yeah.
My ads are always like, oh, you want to make some music?
Nah, it's on a lot of the men's health too. Because like I'm subscribed to some of the men's health because like they promote like, you know, different body creams and stuff like that. And you always see it on like recommended videos. I've just never clicked it.
I don't see it as wrong because every girl I've ever like done something.
I'm not saying it's wrong.
Watches porn.
I'm not saying it's wrong.
Just as much like.
I'm not saying it's
but
wrong.
This isn't talking about watching porn. Oh, yes, it is. Fuck,
watching porn means jerking off. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not saying it's wrong. Yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just trying to broaden my horizon. Do you know what I mean? Think outside the box.
Yeah.
Think that sort of thing.
Because for me, like growing up, like Christian and shit, I don't like in Orthodox, you have to go to at church every week. You do a confession. So the priest
every week.
Yeah, in Orthodox you do it once a week. So before communion, you talk to the priest alone, and you say everything you've done. You're like, Father, this week I jerked off. Father, this week I had sex. Father, this week I stole.
How deep do you have to go into these confessions? Like, do you have to
just as deep as whatever you want. And like the priest isn't allowed to tell anyone. My dad was a priest, so I didn't do it to my dad. Like, someone else,
like Dad, I touched my meat today.
Dad, I stole
the special sauce.
I stole $20 from him while sorry about that, bro.
I stole $20 from my dad today. He doesn't even know.
Yeah. No, what if he's like, what if Ivan, because his dad's a priest? What if he's like, I walked in on my dad, tapping my mom, and it's like, oh wait, that's me.
Yeah. No, but see, like growing up, it was always said, if you jerk off, that's bad. Like if you have sex, that's bad.
See, but I would, like I said, I'm still on the fence. I know 5 minutes ago I said I'd do it, but I'm still on the fence. I would never do it because it's like a morally thing wrong or a moral thing right. I would do it more for the spiritual sense. I really want to connect with my higher self and awaken my third eye. And if that means not touching my meat for 3 weeks or so, that's going to help me, then I think that's 100% worth it, because I really, really want to, get to that sort of spiritual side.
For me, I feel like anything created during sex, anything that's meant to be created during sex, I feel like should be shared during sex. Like, and that's just the way I feel. But having said that,
so what do you mean by that?
Like, for example, obviously ejaculate. I feel like that's made for it's made for sex, and so it's made to give blood. You don't think people should
be doing it on them by themselves? You think it should be I
understand the aspect of what were you saying it's called?
Well,
semen retention.
Semen retention.
Yeah, I understand in that aspect.
Yeah.
But in terms of actual intercourse or in sex, I don't. I probably would never do that, because I feel like if sex for me is something that's really, really intimate and really, really personal, and if I'm showing my body in that way,
of course,
then it's obviously someone that it's not just someone that I just want to have some fun with. Someone that I really care about. Are you saying you're
pro semen retention but no to celibacy? So still still doing it with your partner?
Not exactly. Only if what's it called? I'm with the semen retention in the idea of in terms of masturbating.
Yeah.
But in terms of actual in sexual acts with another person, no.
Well, I mean that's what semen obviously, because they overlap, but you can still semen retention, and then it's just and not being celibate, you know what I mean? Celibacy is when you just don't do it with your partner. You can still be semen retention and
fuck bitches,
but but then you probably wouldn't just be having as many random flings. Do you know what I mean? It's if you're pleasing, with your partner sort of thing.
I reckon that's good. I'm sort of for that. I reckon I don't see me. I probably wouldn't be an advocate for it. But I don't see anything bad with that. I feel like that's a good idea.
But then there's a lot of spiritual guys that I watch that aren't actually doing it with their partners anymore. Still pleasing them, but not doing it with them.
What does that mean? Still pleasing them, but not doing it?
Bro, come on. There's oral.
You can please women in many,
there's
many
oral.
ways,
there's any other ways, but they're not busting a nut.
Yeah. What is there besides oral? It's just oral.
And finger action.
Yeah. And making out. It's not so many ways. Three
things. There's 2 ways.
It's three things, bro. These guys are so many ways. You're just making out, you're touching them, you're eating them out.
But they're still pleasing them.
I know there are things I can do in my relationship that would make my partner feel better than an actual orgasm.
What?
Not feel better, but she'll appreciate more than an orgasm.
Yeah, obviously.
So just in terms of actual in sexual acts, there's not so many ways you can do it, but in other ways, I reckon there's things that my partner finds more intimate than sex.
Yeah, but that's
she's told me that.
Yeah, that's a more broad thing. That's everyone. So wait, so they just go get their girlfriend off, but then they just never get off.
They don't do it because they're keeping their seed.
Oh.
So that they get their girlfriend off, and then they don't bust a nut or anything.
I was like, what's the point in that?
That's yeah.
Well, that's,
wait, what
I'm
about if
wasting
you're
all
like
my
not
effort
trying,
and I get
even
nothing
if
in
like you're not
return?
trying to have kids and shit? Like say.
Well, I mean, like I said, the whole reason why is because they're trying to keep their seed, like for spiritual purposes, and like helps you out in the gym and all those benefits. That's why they're keeping their seed, because like, yeah. So I mean, like I think for most of them, they're only like say 60 days in, 70 days in. So I mean, we'll see how long before they crack.
True.
And it's not to say you can't do it forever. Like I'm sure, like
like
I'm sure,
monks and shit do that shit.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure, like maybe after a couple, like they're human, so I'm sure maybe after a couple of months or so, or maybe 100 days or 200 days, they might give in and then like do it with their partner, but then just restart. You know what I mean? Restart again. And I guess restart again. But
that's literally the only way that life's been going for fucking how many millions of years.
But yeah, I mean that was my I mean, so final verdict, Ivan, would you ever consider it, yes or no?
Yeah, I liked it for that aspect of that you can think about other shit.
Yeah, well, I mean that's why anyone does it.
Exactly.
Yeah, for those benefits. Christian, final verdict?
Maybe I'm still not too sure.
It's different for you because you've got a partner, so I guess it's different for you. Yeah, it's a different ball game. Yeah. Me, like I said, I would consider it. Like I said, I'd consider it. But yeah, that was that was my take. All right, so for people at home that use Spotify, you're a champ.
Bro, this man's moving the title at the end of the year anyway.
No, I'm not. Definitely not moving the title. No, okay. So for people that we said this on a podcast before. Yeah.
Unpopular opinion: Apple Music over Spotify. Let's go.
Iris loves Drake, bro. I
don't.
Drake is always in Iris's top 5 every year,
no,
bro.
Okay, no.
And this man made it there. It's like
I defend myself.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
No, bro. I like Drake, and if you two say you don't like Drake, you'd be lying.
I like Drake.
Yeah,
it's a guilty pleasure, but I mean,
no, you don't have to be guilty. He's the biggest artist in the world.
I don't want to listen to him in front of people, but
I'll listen to him in front of people.
Girls love Drake.
Everyone loves Drake.
Yeah,
everyone loves Drake.
If you're with the girl and you put on Drake, like no one's gonna complain.
Yeah, no, everyone loves Drake. I'm not playing this man constantly yet. He comes on like every now and then, but that's about it.
Spotify says no to that.
But every day, no, because the thing with Spotify have a certain like select, like they have a few artists that they promote the hell out of, yeah? So those artists, they're just shoving it down your throat, like constantly everywhere. And like a lot of the times, like I'll have like my music playing while like I'm cleaning or I'm doing something, or I might fall asleep with the music on. And what Spotify does is once my like playlist is done, or once the couple of songs I've added to queue are done, they start picking artists, yeah? And they always pick Drake, always. And it's not just me too. I've looked on Reddit everywhere. Drake always gets thrown. He's heavily promoted.
And if you've got a playlist like 3 songs of Drake and the rest are like just other artists, they'll play those 3 songs in like the first 10 songs that are played.
So many times that's happened. Yeah, I've had like 2 songs in a playlist of like 200 songs, and every time his songs get played. So yeah, that's why every year this man somehow sneaks in like 5th in my top 5 players, and no. So this year, I swear to God, if he somehow makes it, which I doubt it, like he's not gonna make it because there's just no way, because I don't fall asleep with my music anymore. There's no way this man's making it. If he somehow makes it in my top 5, I told the boys that I would move the title, that I'm done with Spotify. And I love Spotify. Don't get me wrong. I love Spotify. I'm going to be gutted if I have to move. I think Spotify is the best music streaming platform that there is. I'm not a big fan of Apple Music. I think Spotify...
As it stands right now, what do you reckon your top 5 would be?
Top 5 right now, in no particular order, or in particular order, or in no particular order?
No.
In no particular order, I think my top 5 right now would be Lil Uzi, Playboi Carti, Young Thug. Lil Uzi, Playboi Carti, Young Thug, Juice WRLD, and then the 5th one could be a toss-up between like Trippie Redd, Lil Baby.
Drake. I don't know why you're trying to think of 5 different artists. There's definitely 4 artists and Drake.
Bro, you see that? It's why you're coming in, bro.
Maybe even Whitney Houston or Boyz II Men. But like that 5th spot is so many different artists can make that.
Do you see it changing before December, or do you think it's staying that way?
I think the top 4 solidified. I think
it's just 2 months. It's too late. If you've been bumping this shit.
Fuck me, yeah.
Yeah, but not even that. Like even if it was like the halfway point, I feel like those 4 artists are constantly in rotation for me. Like I love those 4 artists. I mean, you boys know, like I listen to a lot of music, so that 5th artist spot could be anyone. Like literally, I'm playing so much music. Yeah. So Spotify at the moment, they had this what would you call it? They had like this
promotion,
sort of like a promotion, or sort of like, you know, like Spotify always has like, they've got the Wrapped at the end of the year. They've always got like certain different things going on. They had another one where basically you could pick the top 5 songs of all time and then like put that on your profile or share it to Instagram and basically just share it with your friends. So, you know, all the boys we've been talking, we've picked our 5 songs that at the moment it's hard. Like, it's hard for anyone to just pick 5 songs, and then because that shit's always constantly changing and stuff. So it's hard for someone to pick 5 songs. But what I told the boys is like, let's just think about it. You're on an island. These are the 5 songs that you can only listen to for the rest of your life. Pick 5 songs. That's how we're playing this. That's how we're going. 5 songs that you'd be happy with. So you got to be careful with your song selection.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll go with Casper. Casper, go first. What's your 5?
Easy. So I've gone for a bit of a weird flavor. Like Iris was saying, I'm going for songs, even though they might not be my top song right now. You know, there's songs that have withstood the test of time for me. That like no matter what feeling I'm feeling, or you know, like how long it's been around, they've always been like fucking bangers to me. So starting off, I have a bit of a weird music taste. I love me some noughties, pop punk. So my top spot at the moment would have to be "Welcome to the Black Parade" by My Chemical Romance. And for me, this is maybe a big call, but for me, I feel like this is the Bohemian Rhapsody of our generation.
Yeah, that's a huge call.
The beat changes, the music, the different sounds that come in each different part.
Yeah.
I love that. There's probably, I don't think there'll be any song in my lifetime that'll probably come close to that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, I could not disagree more, but it's a good song.
That comes out in my lifetime.
Yeah, of course.
But as I said, I love that. I love that pop punk sort of music, which ties into my second song as well.
And just for people at home, every time Casper drives me anywhere, that song's always played. Always. It's not a bad song. I don't hate the song, but
it's dangerous when that song's playing when I'm driving, because I can't keep my head still. I gotta be fucking headbanging hard to that. My second song, and another pop punk classic, All Time Low's "Dear Maria, Count Me In." Just the start of that song gets me fucking going, no matter what. Sorry?
Is that bad?
All Time Low.
Yeah.
You know, just the way the song started, before like 10 seconds in, you have just a little one line, and then a huge instrumental. I'm like, fuck me, that gets me going. A classic, now changing the flavor a bit from pop punk just to old school rap. Eminem's "Lose Yourself." That's something that I feel like will never die. Yeah. Just his lyrical ability on display there. An old classic now, with some like a new taste to it. I got Bad Wolves remix of the Cranberries' "Zombie."
Yeah.
It's a rock version of "Zombie." And yeah, it's just crazy. It ties in 2018 to the Cranberries song.
Yeah.
And me loving my pop punk music, I just think that's amazing. The drum fills in there, absolutely crazy. And lastly, Iris, I reckon Iris probably would have guessed this one. This is a song that when it came out, I'd play on repeat. I don't listen to songs on repeat, so I get older songs, like if I listen to it too many times in one little period. This song, no matter what, I play it on repeat day after day, hour after hour. I got Juice WRLD's "Robbery."
Yeah.
And that's not just a song that I just listened to. I would scream it at the top of my lungs.
That one has a special place for both me and Casper, because like literally we would always play that, and like whenever that song came on, no matter where we were, we would always give each other that look, and we're like, we about to turn
and
up.
Even if we were in the same room, we would record it on our phone, send it to each other.
Yeah. The amount of times we did that, we just sent it on a Snapchat, like, because that was our song that always got us turned up. Always. I love that song. That song will always.
That's my top 5.
I'll go next. So my top 5 songs in no particular order. First one, I'm gonna say "Lucid Dreams" by Juice WRLD, because like I know that's like played a lot, but I love that song. Whenever that song comes on, I always sing it. Like I don't care if it's
played a lot for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. It's played a lot for a reason. And like I said, I don't care if people are sick of it. I still love it. I still sing that song all the time. So it has to be there. And I feel like it's one of Juice WRLD's, you know, one of his better songs. I mean, all his songs are good songs, and I'm a bit of a Juice WRLD fanboy.
Isn't that the Juice Boy?
Juice Boy. No, Juice WRLD. I'm a Juice. I'm a Juice WRLD
That should be
fanboy.
one of your comics that you make. Juice WRLD.
Man Spider.
Oh,
Man
God.
Spider versus Juice WRLD. Man Spider versus Juice WRLD.
Second song that I have is "Greatest Love of All" by Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
I love me a bit of Whitney Houston.
It's a good
The
call.
boys,
That's
the
a
boys
very
know
good
that.
call.
The boys know that.
Do you
Third
reckon,
song.
do
Yep.
you reckon would you smash? Do you reckon she's super attractive? What do you reckon?
Come on, she's deceased.
Put some respect
bro.
on her name,
She's
Ivan.
deceased.
Come on.
No,
No, look. All I'm gonna say is she was a very attractive lady when she was around. Yeah, that's all.
do
I'm gonna say.
you reckon she's like prettier than Rihanna?
They're very different
Oh,
bodies.
that in her prime when she was young, I would say that she was more
Yeah,
attractive than Rihanna, more beautiful, and that's no diss on Rihanna because Rihanna's a bad girl.
But they're very different looking people. Like Rihanna's got that cheeky sort of vibe to her, where like I don't think Whitney has. Whitney's got that sort of classical sort of look.
Oh yeah, but
Where, like
she's got that chick. You know how much crack she did, bro. Jeez, bro.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. Third song is "Yesterday" by the Beatles.
Oh,
Right.
that's a good one.
Man's
I like
coming
that
in with the
one.
classics, man. I love that song every time that song comes. Bro, it's just a classic. You can't not have that. Fourth song would be "Tiny Dancer" by Elton John. Another
Oh,
This is
song
a
that
nice
I
list.
love.
I'm liking this list.
Bro, every time that song comes on, gets me turned up. I love that. And the fifth song, of course, has to be "EXO Tour Life" by Lil
Yes.
Uzi.
Yeah,
I
yes,
love
that's
me
a-
Lil
yes.
Uzi. That's a classic. But I'm happy with my 5 songs. If these were the only 5 songs that I had for rest of my life, I think I'd be okay.
I love that EXO Tour Life because that song means like so much to so many people. I swear, anytime that gets played, everyone in the club is like, "This song means so much." Everyone gets turned up. Like it
it's the
hit
best.
everyone. It hit
It's the
everyone when it came
best.
out, bro.
100%.
For real.
But you go, Ivan. What's your
Okay,
top 5?
so my list is a bit different when you brought up the island bit.
Yeah.
Because if I'm stuck on an island, originally I picked some more like deeper and kind of like sadder songs.
Okay,
But
yeah.
if I'm on a fuck,
Yeah, if this man's alone on an island, that ain't gonna end well.
He's gonna be in his fields,
He's got Marvin's Room playing on the island.
drinking his coconut water.
originally I had from Abbey Road, "She's So Heavy," which is the song before "Here Comes the Sun," and it's like the complete opposite to that. But I love it because it's full, like it's super long and it's just like very repetitive. It's like this guitar loop, and it's like da na 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 na. I swear I get hypnotized when I listen to that shit. But if I'm on an island, I don't want to listen to that shit. I'd rather listen to "Sun King" from Abbey Road as well.
Yeah.
Which is more like Paul McCartney spits his fire-ass like Latin verse, bro. That shit I listened to on acid. I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was like an alien or some shit. That was just Latin out of nowhere. I love that shit. Second song, this has to be there. It's "Father Stretch My Hands" from Pablo.
Oh, yeah.
I got Pablo tattooed on my wrist, you know what I mean? So no, even though like I don't bump Kanye much anymore, I'm pretty much moved past him. I've always gonna have him on my wrist. He's always the person who got me into music, and Pablo is always the album that got me into music.
Bro, wasn't it me that told you to listen to that one song and then you started listening to hip hop
Is it,
after
bro?
that? What was it? Jumpin'.
Oh yeah,
by
the
Drake.
Drake and Future
This man
song,
was
bro.
just,
In
this man was just
Arica,
bumping that
John,
shit like
John.
on the way to school.
We
I
talked
see
about
your head
that.
bopping.
We talked about that last episode.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Next, I have "Through the Late Night" by Travis and Cuddy. So I don't know if I'd have this anymore. Like this would always be in my favorite song because it was the only song between Travis and Cuddy, and they're like so similar, and they've like had this like amazing relationship together, and they've made like heaps of songs, but they always only had this one song out, and it's literally Travis at the end of it is spitting bars from "Day and Night," which is like the song that saved everyone's lives. Yeah. So, but now that they have another song out, the Scots, I don't know if it like kind of diminishes the value, but that's what it feels like to me. Yeah, so yeah, originally I had "Pyramids" by Frank Ocean on Chanel Orange.
I love that song.
Yeah, that's my favorite song from
that song.
that-
I
yeah,
love
it's-
Forrest Gump on that.
Yeah.
Um,
But like that whole, it's still just crafted so good. But honestly, if I was on an island, I'd rather have "What's the Move" by Uzi and Thug from So Much Fun. I love that song so much because literally it samples like there's like butterflies in like this nature setting, and then the beat comes in and the sample is just like this nature. And when I was listening to it on acid, felt like I was just like walking through the rainforest, and I just love that shit. And finally, of course, the last song on everyone's list is "Pirates" by Ruler. This shit slaps hard. We got Casper going, like, starting the song off with this crazy, like, Don Toliver ass shit.
Tonight is a party, we turn up, sipping that lean straight from the cup. The girl is a thotty, she wants some, she throwing it back, yeah. Got Gouda and diamonds, my stacks up. Bitches be loving the bag, yeah. Your body's a tangle like Muay Thai, we at it again.
Had to change the way I act before I go insane. I had the bad. This bitch is loving the fame. They tell you they love you, they want it no bad. They tell you they can't, they want it no cold. Only for girls, she on that shit raw.
But you know what time it is, Ivan?
Reddit story of the week.
Cue that
Yep.
intro.
Yeah. Okay. So usually Iris does this, but I got this one. So I was like chilling like a few days ago. I opened up Reddit on my phone. This is the first one I saw, and I brought it up to you guys. I was like, so this guy posts some relationship advice. Is like, my girlfriend tried to push me off a cliff as a joke. So my girlfriend is completely crazy, but mostly in a good way. Spontaneous is an understatement. Sometimes she goes too far, but I love her for her crazy personality. So he was driving on the highway. There was a lot of traffic. They're going like 40 miles, which is what, like 80 Ks? She suddenly starts tickling me and she wouldn't stop. And he full like yelled at her. And he jammed on the brake and was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And she laughed and she said, chill. And he's like, why would you do that? That's too far. And she's like, I don't know, I just felt like it. And that was basically the last of it. And then on Saturday, they were hiking. And he was standing near like this fucking cliff. And usually he always has his guard up around her. Because like he always does this shit. But he had his guard down. And he was near the cliff. And he was just walking. And he just pushed her. And he like nearly fell off. But then he stopped right at the edge. And he was alright. But then she started laughing so hard. And he was full freaking out. And then he screamed at her. And he's like, I may have been out of line. But then she started laughing. But then she just started crying. And she was saying she was sorry. And then he stopped talking to her. And then he posted an update so he like read through the comments. And it made him realize that she is like a sadist. So I was thinking about that. Because I'd like a crazy girl like that. Like a little bit. But then I realized like if she's a sadist, that means like you're not really gonna get through to her ever. So it's kind of imagine being stuck with that the whole life. And yeah, what do you reckon?
I'm very against that.
This guy needs to break up with her.
That's fucking too. If she's trying to kill you twice, if she's slamming the brakes while you're driving, and she's trying to push you off a cliff, this man needs to know when enough is enough and move away. Bro,
so she got expelled from uni because she fucking pulled the fire brakes, and like everyone ran out of the.
I think that's extreme, but I don't see that as like devious in the point like harmful way. That's just devious in like a prank way.
Yeah, so in her apartment building, she would disable the elevator and pretend it was out of order, and then watch all the older and handicapped people have to walk down the long hallway and get to the main elevator. So this is shit like she's always doing. What would you do if your girl was like that?
I mean, she's definitely not okay. Like she definitely needs to see someone.
That needs some work there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. She's a sadist. She's like this. She's gonna be like this.
Well, then break up with her straight up. Like, it's not worth that. Like,
sadism isn't a mental disability.
Yeah, true.
So if she's doing this kind of stuff, it can be fixed. Like there's obviously she still has a moral compass of right and wrong.
Unless I feel like at this point it's more than that. I feel like she like lacks empathy. I feel like she has no empathy. I feel like she just doesn't have any. Because you're doing all this shit. There's no way if you have empathy, you're not gonna fucking disable the elevator.
Yeah. But empathy is something that's not just something that you're just born with. Empathy is something you gain empathy through your life situations. I feel like no baby is born because no baby's there just crying and then they see another person crying and they're just like, oh, now I'm extra sad.
It's the same way you're born straight, you're born gay, but
you're
you're born
like with fear, like how people aren't born scared of anything.
Yeah.
But the only thing that people are scared of are being alone. Yeah. That's the only thing that any baby's scared of.
Okay, I see what you mean.
But
you gain fears through stuff that happens in your life.
You gain fear through life situations.
Through situations you gain empathy? I feel like no, because she's been through this, she's lived life, she's seen shit, but instead of feeling empathy for her, it turns her on. She likes seeing it. So that's not happening.
Some people also just aren't wired like murderers and stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. They be killing like cats and dogs at a young age.
Exactly. I feel like there's no helping it. I feel like if you're like a pedophile, I feel like you're just born a pedophile. You can't help it.
Do you think all murderers are born murderers?
Not necessarily,
not all murderers, no.
But like say like Ted Bundy people like born.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But what about murder? Like you cheat on my ex and I kill you.
Sometimes. But sometimes life experiences can change someone's mental state and send them like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, not everyone's born a murderer, but like.
Well, like for example, Chris Benoit was.
Oh yeah.
Like this man was seen. He was seen as like the friendliest guy in the Mexican wrestling scene. No, what was it?
Yeah, AAA.
And he was seen as one of the friendliest guys there, and like with the best work ethic, and like no one could fault him on anything.
WWF, WWE. He was like super nice. But that's a good case because he wasn't born a murderer, but he turned into a murderer because all the a lot of the steroids like got to his heart. And like,
he watched his best friend die.
Yeah, he watched Eddie die in front of him, like his best. And this was like a down road he was going. And the doctor's like, your heart is like 3 times bigger than normal heart. You're gonna die in like next 2 weeks. And that's when he like killed his family. But the other big thing is that he had CTE. You know what the football players have? Because his fucking finisher was a diving headbutt from the top rope. So every single week, he was hitting his fucking head.
Explain for the people at home that don't know what CT are.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of NFLs, there's that movie with Will Smith called Concussion. And it's coming out like that a lot of NFL players have this disease. You gain it through head trauma. And it's not just in the NFL. It's like even in
AFL as well.
AFL. It's just like in any sport. Basically, anything that involves head contact. And it's like a new development, like in the last like 10, 20 years. And there was that player in NFL, I think he played for San Francisco or something. And he was like the nicest guy. He was like a Maori guy, you know? Like one of the Samoan, you know, they're like, hey, how you doing, bro? Like one of those really nice guys, yeah?
Yeah.
And he had CTE and then he ended up killing himself. And like a lot of players like commit suicide or they do shit like kill people.
That's
like
why a lot of sports now have a lot stricter like codes of conduct for like if you have any form of head injury, it's not just like you feel alright to play next week, you can play next week. It's now there's a lot more tests that have to go on, and if something happens and there's a lot more waiting periods in between, a lot of athletes are forced to retire now, even in their prime if they're having ongoing head injuries like Paddy McCartan in the AFL.
Yeah. Which they should.
Yeah,
I mean, which they 100%. Should have those strict rules because you definitely want to protect your players. No, but going back to the Reddit story, like if my girlfriend was like that, straight up, you just break up with her. Like, it's not worth that. It's definitely not worth that.
Yeah, but if you've been with her for 2 years and now you just realize that now it clicks in your head.
Still break up with her. So what, you just gonna stay with her for the next 2 years?
You got to consider your health and well-being and her own health and well-being as well. If you've been for 2 years, for example, and you're driving down at 70 kilometers an hour, like on a busy road, and if let's say Lucy was to do that to me now, if I'm driving 70 kilometers an hour now, and Lucy's just to slam on my brakes or slam up my handbrake or whatever, and to force me to be in a dangerous situation with other people. Straight away, there has to be warning signs, and there has to be a conversation straight away about the future.
Yeah, well, no, the girl was tickling the guy. The guy slammed on the brakes.
Oh, he slammed. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. I misheard that.
Yeah, no, she was tickling him and told her to stop, and she kept doing it, and then he had to slam the brakes.
Oh, okay. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely messed up. This guy needs to break up with her. Like, if this guy's somehow listening to this podcast, break up with you.
Yeah,
please.
No, he did.
He did.
He did. Because Reddit told him to.
Because Reddit told.
Anything Reddit tells you to do.
Maybe he had a conversation with his girlfriend and she told him, that everything was all right. So, they've had conversations about it, man. It's all right.
100%.
All right, so I got the last topic here. Let's get this.
Just real quick before the last topic, because I don't feel like we'll get to an hour with what we've talked about today. Boys, what's your thoughts on this whole Logan Paul Mayweather fight? Like it's not confirmed, but there's heavily talks, and Mayweather's considering it.
I can't stand the Pauls, so I feel like Floyd's got a bit of backlash in his career for not choosing the hardest fights at times.
Yeah, and having.
But I mean, Fuck, there'd be some huge backlash if this man loses his first fight.
I'd love to see that 50-1, the one behind 50-1, Logan Paul.
Hey, but is Logan Paul good enough at anything?
Please, obviously
to be
he's not
that
going to
one.
win. Obviously he's not. That's the thing.
Yeah, 100%. Like it'll ruin Mayweather's career.
It'll ruin boxing. Boxing will get a bad rap for sure. If one of the best of all time goes up against a YouTuber, a Disney star.
No, his brother was the Disney star.
Oh, so nothing. So he's just a YouTuber then.
Yeah.
Just a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he loses.
Yeah.
Boxing.
Yeah.
That's literally just like Dave from
It'll
down
be
the street
fucking lit.
joining the AFL and getting MVP every week.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, okay, let's not put complete. I mean, he is training. It's not like he's just some random. But like, obviously, the skill level between the two aren't nowhere. Mayweather's in another different level. Like,
he's never lost.
Think of the people that Mayweather's versed. Like besides Conor McGregor, besides the big, the matches set up just to draw in extra crowd. You know, those actual boxing fights where he's versed people who have trained their entire lives, and dedicated their entire lives to boxing.
Yeah,
and you've got this kid who just wants to get some views on his YouTube channel, get some views on his podcast, and he's going to fight him.
Well, I mean, he'd be doing it for the bag. Both of them would be racking up millions.
Yeah. That's fine. Why? They can't do that?
No, but I'm saying if he was to win...
I'm going to watch it. You're going to watch it. You're going to watch it. So, okay, they fucking win. What do you mean? They're fucking laughing at you all the way to the fucking bank, bro. Both of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Mayweather's considering it. Like, that bag, that check is going to be huge. Like...
Tell me, even after that, people are going to actually have any credit for boxing after that. Boxing is just going to be, it's going to turn into the sport of, I have a feud with you. You don't know how to do any other sport. How about you learn how to throw a punch and we'll just go in the ring?
No, wait. If someone loses or if someone, like,
if Logan was to win, that's what would happen to boxing. Boxing would have no regard as professional sport. It would turn into the sport of, look, I don't like you. I'm calling you out. You better learn how to throw a punch. And we're going to.
I don't think it would go that far, but it definitely would
boxing's
get a bad name.
an institution. There's still all the hundreds of people who do it every day. Nothing's going to change.
I like boxing. I think boxing is a worldie of a sport.
Yeah, nothing's going to change.
But I'm saying if Logan's to win, I feel like it will literally throw the sport into disrepute.
I don't think it'd go that far. The sport would definitely take a hit, but it's not going to be like.
But he's not winning anyway. But it would be a good fight. I hope it happens.
Yeah, he's not going to win.
I hope it happens. It's a good fight. We're all going to watch it.
They're both walking away with millions. So
I feel like the only thing I thought was that KSI beat Logan. So I felt like shouldn't KSI be the one that gets the fight?
KSI wouldn't take the fight. There's no way KSI wouldn't take the fight. KSI's not going to take the fight.
He didn't even want the rematch. He didn't even want the rematch after the draw.
There's no way. KSI is not taking a fight that he can't win. That's just straight up facts. Straight up facts. There's no way he's fighting Mayweather.
But when you see when they start dumping money at your house every day.
Dude, this man, KSI the way he says that he's got his bags and he's got the reputation now that he's beaten Logan Paul. His ego is bigger than...
KSI's egotistic. There's no way. Like, you can't throw a big enough bag for him. Like, this bag would have to be huge for him to take a hit on his ego. Because he's going to take a hit on his ego.
Dude, I don't even think that. No, but I feel like even if the bag was...
KSI doesn't need the money.
It's losing to Floyd Mayweather isn't a bad look. No one's going to give him crap for losing to Floyd.
Yeah, trust me, KSI would... He's going to take an ego because Mayweather's going to school him. Mayweather's going to make him look. KSI wants to I'm the professional boxer. I can do this. Mayweather is going to school him, make him look like an absolute chump. Like, you know what I mean?
Have you seen any KSI videos lately?
Yeah, which he's in his room and shit.
Yeah, so like now if he's because he beat he beat Logan, so there's still like that feud between the Paul brothers and KSI. Now, if anything happens, no matter what, because Logan's been in a few songs, he's released a few songs. KSI's been in a few songs and released a few songs. No matter what happens, because his song got to number 3 on the charts, he'll be like, oh, you know what? You put up a valid point. Let's see whose song's higher up in the charts. That's all he'll do.
There's a meme about that.
All he does is all he cares about is his own ego. That's it.
That's why I'd love for him to lose to Jake Paul. I hate Jake Paul. I hate Jake Paul.
He just put his album out and he's really proud of it.
No, he's not. Ivan, he's so egotistical.
It's not even on his album.
What's not?
I'm saying the song that came that was third on the charts. That wasn't even on his album.
Oh, that new one. Yeah, that was after his album.
KSI is so egotistical. He needs to be brought down a notch.
Floyd will take him down.
That's what I'm saying. Like.
But he doesn't want to. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't. He doesn't want to go down.
No way he's fighting Floyd. No way. No way. I'm excited for the Jake Paul KSI fight. That's going to be a good fight.
Is that happening?
That's happening.
Yeah.
That's happening.
That's lit.
I'm excited for that. That's going to be a big fight. I think it can go either way.
Yeah, it can go either way.
I really think it can.
I just can't. I don't like Logan Paul. I despise Logan, and I hate Jake even more.
I hate Jake Paul. I don't despise Logan Paul. Fair enough. Logan Paul's made a few mistakes in his past. He was a bit of a but he's a bit of he's made a few mistakes in his past, but he's doing all right now. He seems like he's changed and stuff. He's not into that immature stuff. Like, he's got his podcast. He's thriving. He's not.
Bro, I put respect on both of them so much. They were in the news every single day, like for 3 years.
They
were
loved
just
that.
Every day. Yeah,
they loved
did
it.
That. They fucking beat the system, bro. They were the hottest topic for YouTube, for everything, for like 4 years. Like, I put respect on that.
But that's like 6ix9ine.
Yeah, if you're able to do that,
the
bro.
infamy though. It's not like they put up with it.
But they still did it.
And they pulled through.
It's like, Beatles got a number 1 hit. 6ix9ine got a number 1 hit. They did in completely different ways, but they still did it, bro.
No.
They both did it.
Nah, it's not the same.
How does that feel?
One person making pure, like, proper art and actual good music.
But music is subjective. That's not there is no such thing.
So you're saying 6ix9ine and the Beatles are on the same level?
No, I'm saying if they have the same amount of... Hold on. Let's just
that
hold on.
That was your thing. You're like,
wait,
6ix9ine gets a number 1 track, and then the Beatles get a number 1 hit.
Are we forgetting that this man said that he had a song from Abbey Road in his top 5?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying that, and I love Beatles. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Someone that.
And I don't even like 6ix9ine that much,
But so you respect them, like,
But if anyone's like, a goal is to get like number 1. Imagine like you want to get number 1. There's so many different ways to do it.
This isn't a diss at 6ix9ine. I like 6ix9ine. I think, even though I don't think he at all is very creative in anything he does. I think he's good at making music, even though his songs lack flavor. They lack.
His music's not all that bad.
Skill. Yeah. I feel like he makes good music. So this isn't a diss at 6ix9ine. But I'm just saying, like, people like him, he's like the Pauls. He likes the infamy.
Yeah.
Like when there was the case with Treyway. I mean, he didn't back away from it. Even though he snitched, he didn't back away from the controversy. He went to the press with it. Yeah, you know what I mean? So he likes being the bad guy.
Of course.
Shout out to anyone. Bro. What are you talking about? You got to live as a heel.
No, obviously, you got to try and get that bag. So shout out to anyone that tries to do that. But you can't put. For me anyway, you can't put the same amount of respect to someone that makes all-time classics, makes pure art, and someone that just capitalizes on people's, drama and stuff like that.
My thing is, if you're number 1. No matter what, I'm gonna respect you. If you're 6ix9ine or like LeBron James,
so if you're number 1
or you're 6ix9ine, like if you're number 1, you did it. You got to.
So
number 1.
What if you're number 1 but you're like a child toucher?
Well, that R. Kelly, that's Ignition. Wasn't that one of your favorite songs? You told me 4 seconds ago.
Yeah,
Ignition was one of your favorite songs.
So obviously that was an honorable mention. But
same with you. You love bumping that music. So a child toucher doesn't matter. Who cares?
Dude, you gotta be careful with
that. I fucking Uno reversed that shit right on you. Let's go.
No, the difference between me and that is I don't respect R. Kelly for doing that. I can differentiate someone's music from the person. That's the difference. I don't respect R. Kelly, but I enjoy his music. I can differentiate his work from the type of person he is. You're respecting the whole person.
Oh, I don't respect R. Kelly. I like his music. What are you talking about? He's a child. He made that music. He's a child. Like, that doesn't matter. He's a child predator.
I like the song. I like the song, but I'm not respecting the person. That's the difference. You're
still like enjoying his art. That's like with Chris
Benoit.
I'm
not saying that I respect him.
That's like, for example, Chris Benoit, when he died, it's like, okay, this guy killed his entire family. What's the WWE gonna do? They just ignored him. He never existed. So it's like you shouldn't enjoy his art. Because
that's a perfect
he murdered
example.
his family. Yeah, do you guys agree? Example. You shouldn't. I feel like you shouldn't like his art. You shouldn't like his wrestling. He killed his family. Don't watch his fucking matches. That's what I feel.
See, like. I'm opposite to that. I like his legacy. Not his legacy. Not his legacy.
Jeez, your matches, you mean?
Yeah,
your matches.
His in-ring legacy. I like.
Okay.
How how he'd be like if he did something in a match, even if he won in a match, he'd be backstage and do like 500 squat thrusts because he didn't execute a move as perfectly. So he'd do that and he'd get his craft better. Yeah. And that sort of legacy I like. Even though 6 years down the track, we all know what happened. So
I don't know. I think people can in some situations, people can differentiate the work from the person. You can like someone's work, but not actually like the person and agree with the person's beliefs and stuff. Like the person could still be a shitty person. You can hate that person, but do you know what I mean? You can still like the song.
Ultimately, if you like the song, you're always going to like the song no matter what the artist is like. That's like Pablo Picasso was the biggest piece of shit. He beat his wife every day. He like fucking... Are you kidding me? Pablo's the biggest... His business is a misogynist. He was a fucking terrible person. Everyone loves Picasso's work.
I had no idea. I know nothing about Picasso besides the fact that he's Spanish.
Yeah.
That's it. And
was really, like,
I'm sure he died in 1980. That's about it.
Yeah, this guy was living recently, bro. But he like lived a crazy life.
Well, 82? 1980?
Yeah.
I had to do a piece on him for fucking...
Speaking of old art... I got my finals topic to wrap things up.
How did we even get to that?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, so not sure if you're around back in like the 1970s. There was this band.
Definitely wasn't around.
There was this band blowing up called Pink Floyd. Yeah. So this is the story of one of the founding members of Pink Floyd. So basically, this guy Sid Barrett. Yeah, he was like who you think of as like the leader of like a boy band, like, you know, attractive, like traditionally handsome. He's got charisma. He's got the sauce. You know what I mean? So this guy was like a guitarist. Yeah. So he was in the band Pink Floyd. He made it with his bandmates, and they were blowing up. You know, they were doing gigs, and it was taking off. But at the same time as finally his band is blowing up, and it's like a really creative band, at the same time, this cunt is tripping on acid every single day ridiculously. He would do these things where he'd do 7-day trips in a row. And
7-day trips.
7 days in a row.
How does that work? Doesn't your body build like a tolerance to the acid?
You take more. That's what you do. You just take more and more. Are you kidding me? This isn't like I took one dose today. This man's doing like 20 tabs. You know what I'm saying?
Would day 7 actually be anything?
Yeah, so day 7, there's a story where one of the fans, so he's like a famous guitarist, yeah? So he, like a fan was walking down the road of London, and he like sees this like homeless guy like lying on the floor with the girl, and he like walks past and goes, wait a second, that's the guy from Pink Floyd. And he like wakes him up, and he's like dazed, and he's like repeating like one thing or like one phrase over and over, and his girl's there, and she's like in a frenzy. And that was basically what day 7 looks like. Yeah, so this is what happens while he's blowing up in his band, right? So at one point, so he's in London, yeah. You know who's also in London blowing up at the same time? Jimi Hendrix. So they were like hung out, and Jimmy was like to this cunt. Jimmy was like to Sid Barrett. It's like, man, you need to calm down on the acid, bro. Like, this shit's getting out of control, bro. I think when Jimmy says that to you, you're gonna fucking chill out, bro. But
Jimmy knows how to chill.
Yeah, but this ended up like fucking things up, because he stopped showing up to gigs. He stopped showing up to the studio, and when you're with him, you could like just tell that he was like losing his touch of reality. Like So like when he would play live, this kind of like every concert he'd do like a weird ass thing, and you could just tell like he's fucking out of it. Like one time, so one time he was playing and he just turned around. So like say the concert's going, he just turned his back to the concert and just strummed one note over for like the whole hour, for the whole gig. So the band's just playing the song, they're singing the lyrics, they're playing the drum pans, they're playing the bass.
And he's doing something just completely different.
And the lead guitarist is just going boom, 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 boom. And this isn't like some random cunt. This is like a prime, like imagine like Harry Styles doing this shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so basically the band is left in this tight spot. They're like, what do we do? This is like, they released music and it was really good, and like it was mostly on him. Like he was like the band, so like this cunt's like fucked. He doesn't play properly, but all that hits are from him. Like what do we do? So they ended up having to like, basically what they did was they went to one gig one night, and instead of driving past his house to pick him up, they went to this other guy's house, which was David Gilmour, and they went to his house, picked him up, and he knew all his parts because he was like a fan. And then they basically replaced him. And this guy, David Gilmour, ended up being like pretty much like even better than him. And he took Pink Floyd in a whole nother direction. But this Sid Barrett version was like, so then they sat down and they're like, okay, we have to like kick you out. So it wasn't, wait, let me say this again. So then they sat down, they met up with Sid, and he officially left. So then Pink Floyd started going up. They had David Gilmour now, and they went, there's like two versions of Pink Floyd. There's a Sid Barrett version and a David Gilmour version. Yeah, so in the next few years, Sid still made music, and he released 3 solo albums, and like people really fuck with these. If you listen to it, it's like kind of out of, you can definitely tell like this cunt's out of it. But he still released music, and like rock fans think it's like really influential, you know what I mean? But then obviously he was going down harder into his path. So eventually he just completely isolated himself from public, and like no one could get into touch from him. And the biggest theory is that he developed schizophrenia. So the LSD like fucked with his schizophrenia. This is the scariest part with me. So imagine schizophrenia, like you're like hearing voices in your head. Imagine you hear voices, or like you're seeing shit, you don't know what's going on, and you're dropping acid 7 days. You drop acid for like a day, you're already like, it's kind of, I feel like when you trip, like with us, we can kind of distinguish what's a trip and what's not. What do you guys reckon? Like on acid?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, how do you guys feel like you cope with that?
For me, that time when I took the 3, when I dropped the 3, it was a bit crazy because everything looked real.
Yeah.
Everything that I was seeing looked really real. Yeah. The only thing is just that I knew that I'd taken the acid. So, you know, there were some things that I knew like was just out of the ordinary for you two. So I knew you wouldn't be doing it. So there was a stage where I couldn't differentiate facial expressions. Yeah. Or you know, everyone's facial expressions were just different. Like, because I obviously I've seen different expressions on your faces. Yeah, like throughout my life, I know your angry faces, I know your sad faces.
Yeah.
And for me, they were just showing up just randomly, just in different situations.
Like randomly, like Ivan would have like an angry face.
Yeah, like I'd be saying something, we'd all be laughing. But for example, Iris would be like glaring me off, and I'd be like,
okay.
And in my head, like I knew he's not actually glaring me. Yeah. But if I hadn't, if I didn't know that I dropped, it would have seemed so real. I would have really been in the hole because I wouldn't know what's going on.
When like in one of our trips, I think it was Casper went upstairs and Ivan was in the studio, and I was just like vibing downstairs watching anime and like listening to Lil Uzi, and there was one point where I was thinking, I'm like, oh, like what if I become schizophrenic? And I was so bad for like 20 minutes because like already like your senses are already hiding everything, and I was already like hearing like little like background like ding ding like I never ever heard before. So I was like, oh, like what if I act? And dude, for 20 minutes I was freaking out. Yeah, I was so scared.
I actually think like developing schizophrenia is probably my biggest fear. Yeah. Like that's just really, imagine just living every day with that, just hearing voices and shit. There's YouTube videos. I went one like down rabbit hole where you can watch videos. It's like schizophrenia like representation, and it's just like a video of like a guy walking through the like grocery store, and you see what the voices are like, and it's fucking scary, man. It's
really. My sister, she's learning to be a psychologist, and obviously just disclaimer, she doesn't tell me. She like whenever she's with a client, she never tells me anything. Yeah, of course. She's really professional in that sort of way. But she's told me sometimes about like some case studies that she's done. So not real cases, but just of course. like made up ones. Yeah. And she's told me some things that she has to differentiate, and then what they're doing, and schizophrenia is fucking scary. Yeah. Like, that's something that if I was tripping and I thought I started hearing voice, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I was scared for 20 minutes.
I probably locked myself in my room and I try and sleep it off. I wouldn't be able to fall asleep.
For 20 minutes, I was scared, and then I managed to snap myself out. I'm really good when I'm like on a trip. I'm very good at snapping myself out of batteries. I'm like you're on acid. Like none of this is like, you know what I mean? Like it'll wear off in a couple hours. You'll be back to being normal. Like I'm very good at doing that. You gotta
be good like that. Yeah, that's the hard part with like finding who's good for acid, because there's some people who just can't do that. Yeah. And
I don't know if one of my brother's friends like took acid, and he was like he was freaking out, like he was running, like hitting cars and shit, like driving cars, like these are cars that are driving on the road. He's freaking out, like they literally had to like knock this guy out, like punch him, knock him out, and then like and take him back to his family's house because this kid was freaking out.
That would be the scariest. Imagine being that kid waking up.
Yeah, and exactly. Like this kid was like proper losing it, and he only had like one tab. Like he didn't like drop a lot, but he just couldn't take it.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically what happened to Sid is that he isolated himself. No one heard from him. And then 3 years later, Pink Floyd were the biggest band in the world. They just outsold the Beatles.
Oh, so this was when they were in their peak.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is like Pink Floyd. So
I thought he would have been, because I don't know much about Pink Floyd, but I thought he would have been around for their peak, and then this was afterwards.
No. So he missed that. So they went in a different direction.
Do you remember which album they replaced him in? Like where? So what albums is he on?
Yeah.
What
so
is he
basically, he's only with them for one album.
The first
album is with him.
Yeah.
And then the second album is Metal, and then and then after that it's Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here and all of those. So basically, with Wish You Were Here, right? So the band was just like in the studio, like any normal day. They were recording this song, Wish You Were Here, which is like ended up being one of the biggest songs. And the story's about Sid. And it's like the song's Wish You Were Here. It's about Sid wishing he was here. And then like this guy like walks in the studio, and like this is Abbey Road. They're recording in Abbey Road studio, right? So it's the biggest studio in the world.
Yeah.
There's people just walking in and out. And then like there was this like bald fat man sitting in the back. And then like he was there for like 20 minutes. The band were kind of whispering to each other like, yo, who is that? And he's like, I don't know. And they ended up asking someone like, who is that? And they're like, oh, that's Sid. And they're like, what? That's Sid? And like, yeah, so Sid, like they saw him 3 years ago. He was like a really attractive, male. And now he's this bald, fat dude, no eyebrows. He's just staring at the wall. He's completely out of it. Yeah, so he was like, when he walked in, he was like clutching a plastic bag. And was just like stroking this plastic bag.
Yeah.
And he would do like random shit. Like they were just recording a song, and he just got up and just started like had a toothbrush and just like stared at the wall, started brushing his teeth. And
so basically he was gone.
Yeah. And then he ended up locking himself in isolation, and then he died in 2013. So he lived his whole life, except no one saw him his whole life. He was just by himself.
Wow.
That's actually really sad.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
And that's how we end this week's podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a sad note. So time to
what are you going to do?
Yeah, time to play one of those songs that we listed in our top 5 songs, which is linked in the description.
Yeah, and please follow our Instagram page.
Yeah, jeez. And check out Pirates on SoundCloud. I hope you like that snippet you heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.